Recording.
Chair Moore. Vice Chair Patrick.
Yes.
Commissioner Barlog.
Yes.
Commissioner Bedard.
Here.
Commissioner Valdez.
Here.
You have a quorum.
We'll stop from with pledge of allegiance.
Largely
To the flag.
of the United States of America,
And to the
republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any public comments?
I do not have any public comments for items not on the agenda. I don't see any, should be.
Right. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to consent calendar. Do we need to?
So we do not have any staff report and there's no public comments. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those, or you can make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Chair Moore,
Yes.
Vice Chair Fawcett,
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Barlog, Commissioner Bedard,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez. The motion carries.
Next agenda item, we're gonna move on to reviewing and approving the 2026 Library Commission work plan.
I'll
Do you-
pull it up
Do you
on,
have any thing to report for the board?
I'll pull it up on my screen, and then I don't have any, I don't have a formal report. But this is the commission work plan. It looks similar to what was presented in October for commission review. You can see the different areas that you guys have as your goals and projects for the year, largely focused on the improvements to the main library building. So staff is working with county staff, the consultants, the architectural firm, and then the community groups. We're about to start talking to lots of folks to explore how we can move into the second phase of design. And then in addition, your work plan focuses on new services, programs, and events for the library, targeted outreach for different age groups. And then the big thing is education on the pending construction and identifying what continued services would probably look like during the closure. So if the main library is closed for an extended period of time, exploring how services would be impacted. And county library staff is going to be very important in this conversation, and they're going to provide their best recommendations on what they would like to see, and then we'll discuss that with you as the year goes on. And then obviously the continuing operations of commission liaisons to the different external groups, such as NCLA, Friends of the Library, and Molly. So that continues. And then here's just a rough library commission calendar with some of the items based upon that work plan. So there's the 6 regular meetings this year. Staff does recognize last year we had a number of special meetings because we needed to talk about certain things. And so as those come up, I'll reach out to you and the call in advance to make sure we schedule those. And then depending on different things as they come up, we'll add them onto the calendar here, but this is just the best draft available. And you will be meeting with the city council in February to discuss your work plan and your calendar. I'll be sending the date to you. That'll be either the 1st or the 2nd Tuesday or the 4th Tuesday of February. It'll be a joint meeting with the library commission, so it would be great if all of you could be there. And you'll go through this work plan as well as your calendar. And get feedback from the city council on if there's anything missing within the work plan that they would like you to address or ask any questions. Last year, the work plan was similar to this one, and that it was focused on the main library remodel. So this shouldn't be too much of a surprise probably for the city council when this comes forward.
Did you hold 2 dates or 3 dates? The 2 council dates or if there was a third?
Just the two council dates, I apologize. So either the second or fourth Tuesday of the month in February.
10th or the 24th?
My goal is to have a date for you probably in the next week or so. So I'll try and get that to you as early as possible, and I'll get you a time, hopefully, where I'm gonna try and get you a 2-hour window, not a 4-hour window, so I'll do my best to get you that.
Do you mind enlarging that?
Yeah,
What do you mean by 2-hour window?
just,
I didn't get it.
If you don't want to come up with me.
Oh. Thank you.
Fun.
and then I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. And then obviously this is the final commission meeting before that joint meeting with the city council where this would be presented, and so staff's recommendation is to review, edit as much as you would see fit, and approve if you feel comfortable for that meeting.
Do you have any questions, commissioners?
I want to make sure I understand how this commission works, so, has council been exposed to this in any way, or will that have not, will that only happen at the joint meeting?
For the work plan,
Mm-hmm.
so this, they haven't seen the 2026 version. This is similar to the 2025 version, so because we have a lot of returning council members, they would recognize a lot of the information in here, and but they haven't seen this exact version yet. until February.
And in your interactions with either, city manager or council, do you think there's anything that we?
I don't think so at this time.
I asked these questions because I went through this on another, and we should have been asking these questions, and we didn't. And we were caught a little offhand with it, so.
At this point in time, staff feels comfortable with this work plan. It recognizes, I think, the large undertaking that it's gonna be to prepare for the library improvements. And then obviously there was the opportunity for the next couple, items to create ad hoc subcommittees focused on the bigger items within the work plan. If you'd like to focus on those. But I think it's a good work plan, and, should council choose to add or remove anything, that could be
They'll do
discussed.
it if I mean. Great.
Is the timing all correct? Like for example, education on pending construction for main library improvements, early 2027. That's more like, we're saying now it's gonna be around June, right? So the timing needs to be,
We can edit that timing to move out, so that way the anticipated completion is later. That makes sense, to push that out to maybe fall 2026. Does that feel good as a time frame?
Talking about the education, line item.
Yeah,
oh, it's the education on pending construction for main library.
Yeah, early 2026.
I think, 2026 is probably a good guess. That's the when.
It's probably not early.
It's probably not real.
Yeah,
When is the construction starting?
Uh,
When is the library closing at this, as it stands right now?
I'm gonna share it as an Excel sheet so we can make live edits, so you can see what I'm.
That'll help us understand the timing.
I'm just gonna put that in as a placeholder. As of right now, it would not be any earlier than early next year, potentially later. We have just finished phase 1 of the design, so we're still going through phases 2 and 3. And we have the bulk, the lion's share of the design left, so we have more work to do before we start this off. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I just can't hear.
So I would feel okay if you want to put fall or even end of 2026, and that would be realistic to,
Let's say end of 2026. You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not
And
gonna
then if you
agree.
give us-
Only because it's educational and marketing, and you don't necessarily have to know everything to get things started on education. So I argue that mid-2026, we have a pretty good idea of what we'd be doing in education could start there. That's my comment on it.
But to educate people on the construction, you need the dates of the construction start date. If we don't have that,
Why don't we make it, can we make it a conditional upon completion, like, you know?
we need to know the dates, because otherwise, like, everybody's gonna be like, oh, construction is gonna happen, but when, like, so we need to be clear, like, we need to have some kind of dates.
Would that suffice to just put late fall?
Yes, I think so.
It's a rough time frame, and it allows for flexibility depending on what you see. But
I was just going by the assumption that we'd know the dates by then. It's like 6 months out, so we'd have a much better idea.
I anticipate by summer, we'll have a lot more information that we can share around what the timeline looks like moving forward. Whereas I hope we do. That would be cool.
And when is the children's library opening up? The new,
We don't have a date yet. The children's room is open, but the play space, there's just unexpected delays, so, they're working on phases, making and texting us great. We don't have a date.
do you have like a rough timing, like end of 2026,
Um,
middle, or?
We're waiting, but
Spring
that's not for sure. Yeah, we're still waiting.
Because
Children's library is reopened.
The room is
Just not without place room.
Because, yeah, like the host community events at the library, that could probably. I'm thinking that could be with the opening of the children's area, play area, so. This is
That's what we do.
yeah, so it's the summer 2026 is probably right, because like if it's gonna open around spring, I mean, we don't know. Spring is still like
Yeah.
floating around, right, so,
We can still have programs. The program room will be open, well before then, but the play space itself is not, we still have a date on.
I think it would be better to do it with. The place, because it's fun to kind of be like, hey, this is a new play space. We have more like story to have the event, so. Research new services program and events for life.
The generic program covered in Route 192. So this was specifically about coordinating, make the splash for the children's day. We look at the changes that we learned
Yes.
how they. Nobody can read through that. The other price was different projects.
Do we need a motion?
Mhm.
Yes, we should.
So-
Well, public comment.
Oh,
Yeah, public comment, yeah.
I don't have any notes. Any cards for public comment? Are there any cards?
Any public comment?
Public question?
Sure.
Okay. The phase 2 and 3. That is going to be, I'm asking, is that going to be, a community feedback, activity?
So,
What you're showing in phase 2, the, kind of the modified or refined, plans based on the feedback you got before? Is that correct?
so we are not anticipating robust community, we're not anticipating robust community engagement for the
Phase
project moving forward.
Okay,
We know generally where things are gonna go.
okay,
If there's specific areas that we need to work on and talk through specific issues, we'll obviously adjust those internally and then with partner organizations. But for the most part, we're not gonna be going out and doing workshops again, so we
Okay.
probably would not be doing workshops at the library commission for next year, so that's why it's not on
Okay,
the work plan was hosting workshops.
Just for information, would the, feedback portal be open throughout?
The only feedback portal we had was at the actual workshops,
Okay,
so we didn't.
so there was no, all right.
But we are gonna work with partner organizations that are, so I'll be coming back to the library commission to let them know. I'll be connecting with the Friends of the Library. I'll be connecting with Raleigh. I'll be connecting with all of the groups to update them as we go along, but we're not making, large changes to the design at this point. We're just moving forward and then we're gonna adjust things as we go.
okay, great. Could you tell me about when that's gonna happen? Timelines with ABA?
For phases 2 and 3,
Yes,
I hope that we will be doing phase 2 probably through. I don't want to speculate, but I'm anticipating we're probably about like 10 or 11 months of work to get full construction documents.
And
So
not
from-
10, no, 11 months work.
That would be my educated guess. I don't have the exact timeline in front of me.
and then you'll do the permit application.
We'll
Is
return.
that phase 3?
Phase 3 is the end of construction documents, and then we'll have bid ready construction.
Oh,
documents.
okay,
At the end of phase 2.
bid ready, but you have to get your permit.
Correct.
And would that be presented to the commission?
We would probably bring that back to the commission, and then we would go to city council.
So 10 to 11 months to get your construction documents ready, and then those will go to planning for, those will go to your development people for permitting, to get a permit.
We will go through all the necessary permitting, and I
And then
can't
you
speak
go
to
to
what
bid.
exactly it's gonna be yet until we see the final documents, but we'll go through all of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Tell me if I'm incorrect in this assumption, given that the community input phase is done, phases are done. And now you're moving forward with the implementation. Seems to me that it would be reasonable that just about the only time the public may wanna weigh in is if there are change orders or things like that, over, requests for more money. That level of thing, because we're not gonna, no more input on design, so to speak.
So we would come back to, I think, depending on what it is, we would talk about what we would do for the best avenue, but
Okay.
generally we are moving forward with the design, and like I said, the important part now is working with the finalizing everything around design of the actual building, what the actual finishes look like, working with the library on what their, portions of the library would look like, what they like the workstations, furniture, things like that, working with the Friends of the Library on their sales space, and then, the workspace that they have, and
All the stakeholders.
that's
Great.
forthcoming.
And we would love to see it because, we talked a lot about the furniture and like the glass finishing of the meeting rooms and things like that, because it was really transparent, right? Like we wanted to. So we want to know the conclusion.
And the good news is that we had one meeting already with the architects, and I can tell you they've heard all of the feedback we've heard from individuals and are taking it as we go. So
Great.
I also have a question around woodland, like when is the woodland patio project going to be ready? I wanted to ask that question because also thinking about like events and things like that.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Just right now, we should really approve the work.
Okay.
The work plan and then move through the agenda, because even on the main library improvements, it is an item on the agenda in the staff reports, number 7.
yeah,
So, but what you're asking is absolutely, but that's just.
I'm just asking from the work plan perspective, because we're saying that host community events at the library, summer, like, based on the children's area, but now that children area is kind of like being pushed out, if the woodland, patio is coming earlier, then that's something that we should consider.
and I think at this point, what the commission could do, and the reason it's left kind of broad enough, is that you can create an ad hoc subcommittee for a library event. in that ad hoc subcommittee during the conversation on that could decide what the event looks like. in
However, it
collaboration.
says in the comments in the notes though, that it specifies that it's for children's area.
We-
So that's why I'm bringing it up.
It specifies it, what?
So if you look at the notes, it says begin planning an event to celebrate the opening of the new children's area or the new construction.
And it could be new construction of the woodland patio, or
Okay.
it could be, so there's some discretion there
Okay.
for the ad hoc subcommittee.
Okay. With the timing though, we might adjust the timing, right? So that's the thing. With depending on the woodland timing, then we might adjust.
We are hopeful that the woodland patio would be completed by summer.
Okay, so then the summer could be the woodland then.
That would be the goal.
Okay.
And we can, once again, I'm happy to put late summer 2026 for the event, if you'd like to add some cushion to make
I think
sure.
that'd be good. Time to, yeah. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, so. Anything, any other questions or comments? Okay, then do you think we can have a motion then for?
I'd like to move that we accept the short plan
As amended.
as amended in this meeting.
I'll second it.
Chair Morris,
Yes.
Vice Chair Fawcett.
Yes.
Commissioner Barbache, Commissioner Bedard,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is create ad hoc subcommittee for library closure preparation.
Staff doesn't have a presentation. This was a request of the Library Commission at the October meeting to potentially create an ad hoc subcommittee. That would be 2 individuals from the commission that could work on this item. The rules on ad hoc subcommittees are outlined in the commission handbook for you. There is a defined period of 1 year, so whenever you start the ad hoc subcommittee timer, you have 1 year to complete the work. And then it would report back to the commission at the end of the work.
And we can only have 2 subcommissions at a time.
Being that you have 5 commissioners, you would only be allowed to have 2 ad hoc subcommittees of 2 individuals, where 1 individual wouldn't be on an ad hoc subcommittee potentially, but they would still be able to complete other works within the work plan and other items as assigned.
So when you create the ad hoc subcommittee, when I read this, it wasn't clear as to, I mean, it seems pretty ironclad, you establish the ad hoc subcommittee, you have a year. The thing that it doesn't say is if the ad hoc subcommittee work is delayed because of an external factor like construction or whatever. Is there a way to legislatively stage that beginning to a later time so you don't lose the time?
I don't know that there's a way.
It's not in here,
Yeah.
I want, this is a legislative question.
My feeling is that once you create an ad hoc subcommittee, that begins the timer for 1 year, so there's no way to extend it. The only way you could, I don't think there's a way to extend it beyond that year. But that ad hoc subcommittee in that 1 year could do all the work to the best of their capabilities and then come back with the report. But if at this point in time, you don't feel like it would be great to start the clock, you can always push this to a future meeting where you could approve that ad hoc subcommittee.
Because you're not allowed, let's say because of schedules, not because of capability, with those schedules, that year turns into, I don't know, 4 months of effective work. And you can't carry that subcommittee over, you can't create another one to do the same job, so you're done. You only get 4 months of input,
No,
unless there's some
no,
exception.
I disagree with your comment about, let's say you reform the committee. And the library commission has to vote on it again. It's a new subcommittee after your old one lapses.
And they can continue the same work.
You're not continuing, well, who knows what they're doing and who knows whether they're continuing the same work or not. But you could reform it if the need was there, in my opinion, if the commission votes on it and if it's public.
So it's an interpretation.
That's
and
an
this is an
interpretation.
But we need some rendering.
Well, hold on.
Because they have to make their own decision here with the waste fund.
Okay,
So in my reading of the rules, you could, on the commission handbook, you, ad hoc subcommittee will not be reestablished or renewed in multiple years. So it cannot be reestablished or renewed under the same guidelines. It could be that you have an ad hoc subcommittee focused on library closure preparations. And then near the end or after the year, you could disband that ad hoc subcommittee once you receive the report at that time. And you could create a different ad hoc subcommittee focused on library opening preparations. That focuses on the opening that's gonna be pending, or a different subject that the ad hoc subcommittee could then focus on. But
That's how I would have interpreted it, given that it's not exactly explicit stated there. So I think timing is important. We don't want to be too early.
Mhm.
I would suggest it's too early. Well, when's our next meeting for that?
your next meeting will be the first Thursday of March.
Yeah, I agree that it's probably too early.
Maybe March,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
later.
Unless like one person is doing it.
Unless there's high confidence the closure is going to happen now by February.
I think at this point in time, if you'd like to move it to the March meeting, that doesn't slow down any processes on staff's part as we work through the improvements of the library, and it would, if you'd like to revisit it in March or the meeting
Yeah,
afterwards. that's okay.
Yes. I agree. I think we should wait, we should just put in the March agenda item to understand where the plan is at. Because otherwise it will just be risky.
But our committees into very precious commodities.
Yes.
well, they are, but
But now they're tiny.
So do we have a motion to postpone the discussion on creating the ad hoc subcommittee for library closure preparation to?
You don't necessarily need to make a motion.
Okay.
You would only need to make a motion if you wanted to create that.
Okay.
And then at this point in time, was giving me direction to
Move it to
bring
the-
it back to March, and so I can bring it in the March agenda.
Okay, sounds good.
But if you can ask if there's public comment.
Do any public comments on this matter? Okay. Next item on the agenda is create ad hoc subcommittee for library commission event.
This one's for the children's area.
Or it could be,
Could be
it could be anything, children's area or woodland or just in general.
There are options in the notes.
Is the children's library now, what I'm hearing, what target is the spring full opening, and now it's sounding like,
I think
They're
it's
just there.
difficult, gauge when
it's
it's
gonna be
children's
spring,
area.
and it seems like it's the right time to go ahead with the annual stuff and the.
There's always the possibility of the library commission event being kind of an event of all of the work that's being done. So it could be the construction, woodland, the children's area, but it would be up to the ad hoc subcommittee what exactly they want to focus on, and they could report back to the commission on that.
Rose, you always recommended, because the calendar was pretty busy, was recommended we piggyback off of the regularly scheduled.
Yeah, but I mean, in regard to this topic, we've been setting the plan, we work with the subcommittee to plan a program with you. And just as Anthony was saying, it could cover a lot of different topics, and it could feature the commission. And then my idea was a children's program, and preferably a weekend one, to get a large crowd, because our children's programs do get a large crowd. But on the weekends, we'll get more of the parents as opposed to the nannies or the regulars. And, it would be how I envisioned it, but it could be, however, the commission also, input from the commission is a children's program, but the commission would be able to talk at the beginning, introduce themselves, share information about the work the commission has done, and expose the community to what, all the work the commissioners have done, will continue doing, what their role is and how, they can help support the community. So, because I don't think a lot of our teachers know that. So it's, you know, we've never done anything like this, so I think it would be unique and helpful.
It seems like it's time to form this committee. It seems like it's the right time.
Well, given that there's program space, it seems that it could be independent of the construction, right? It could be topical to the construction, but it's independent of the physical barrier of the construction, that in the program room.
And just know your work plan, the notes are notes. It would be up to you if you wanted to host just a general event and talk about the construction, children's area, all the excitement of the library. That would incorporate, I think, from what you've worked out.
I'm sorry for my ignorance, but has there been community training on the upcoming play space?
Community training.
Yeah, this
Education.
about how they work, other instances, maybe families can go get familiar with other instances and be kind of more emotionally and mentally prepared for what they're gonna get.
Yeah, as a district, we do have a whole page dedicated to this. At the library level, we've not done anything other than what's been presented to the commission here, but that's certainly something we can do.
That's something we can do too, in concert with the library to generate even more interest in what's going to happen down the road. And it can happen well before it happens, well before the construction happens, that's irrespective of that. I mean, that might be a fun thing to do. Not so much stress about, packing up things and all that, but just about how to put us out there.
So do we have the motion to create
Right now, there's questions
questions?
and then
Public,
public comment after that, and then discussion.
any other questions?
Any other questions?
Public comments? Okay. Do you think, I think based on our conversation, it seems like we should create the subcommittee this time?
I think we should. And it might be a good stopgap, and then we do the next ad hoc after that, when we know more.
Do we have a motion to create the subcommittee?
Sure, we have to decide who's gonna be on it first.
Do we need to decide who's gonna be on
Yes.
first?
So when you're creating an ad hoc subcommittee, you establish the ad hoc subcommittee with X individuals you select.
I'd like to be on that committee.
I spent a whole year on this subcommittee, waiting for something to happen, with the plan of tying in with the children's library, and it kept getting pushed. I kind of feel obliged to, I don't have to go, we didn't do anything. I could work with Jeannie on it.
Right, so we're going to be on two people.
Correct. So whoever makes the motion would make the motion to create an ad hoc subcommittee for library commission event consisting of, Commissioner Valdez and Vice Chair Fawcett.
Do we have a motion?
If you could make a motion.
So Stephen,
I propose a motion to form an ad hoc subcommittee to plan a commission event at the library, with, myself, with the Fawcett and, Commissioner Valdez.
Is there a second?
Second. Yeah, we can.
And now we'll take a vote. Chair Marks,
Yes.
Vice Chair Fawcett, yes. Commissioner Bardock, Commissioner Bedard,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez,
yes.
the motion carries.
The next,
So I'll set up a meeting with the two of you where we can talk about it, and then, all my bros as well, and we can discuss. So just so all of you know, when you create an ad hoc subcommittee, then we'll all meet with you and we can talk through what the framing of it.
And will this get added to the agenda, like every meeting forward where the subcommittee shares?
So, we can add it to a discussion item if there's an item to take action on. If there's not, then, commissioners can always report out at the commissioner report section. So during the commissioner report section, all of you can feel free to provide any reports you'd like, but if there is an action item, and you're on the ad hoc subcommittee, let me know, so that way we can make sure it's on the agenda.
The next item on the agenda, review, Santa Clara County Library Internet Policy Draft. Do you have the report?
I have the draft policy up, and I'm not gonna claim to be an expert in the county library district policies.
Okay, I'll take it. So for those of you who haven't experienced this yet, for our public facing policies, we like to bring these out to the commissions. Give you an opportunity to look at the policy, review it for comment or concerns or questions. So that way we're kind of communicating with you, some of the things going on in the library. This is very much a working document. I'm looking at it thinking, oh gosh, that font is all wrong. But, again, this is an opportunity for you to review it and provide any feedback you may have. Andy, I don't know if this was included in the packet. It was. Okay.
It was, yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, so, if there are any questions or comments, I will just say that what we tried to do was combine several separate policies. So there was an internet policy, a Wi-Fi policy, a guest pass policy, an online forum policy. This combines all of them, so it's a rather, long policy document.
Is it 2 pages?
It's 2-pager, it is long. But again, this was combining several things together, and this is not the final result. So we didn't change much. We took some technology language that was very much outdated, and we kind of updated that. And of course, as I mentioned, we were combining other documents to make it a little bit more cohesive. So we removed some old terms, we got rid of some duplication, but at heart, the policy really hasn't changed. And again, this is not the final version. We will pare it down. As I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about, yeah, that's duplicative still, and that's duplicative still. But in order to start this process, we have to bring it out to commissions over a period of 2 months. And then it will go before, after we revise it based on those comments, we'll bring it to our board, our Joint Powers Authority, the JPA, for final approval. So it's a long process, and we'll have to get it through county council too, I should add. So again, it's a long process, but, I'm willing to, hear any questions or comments about, the policy as we read it.
What has changed from last time?
So there's really not much that has changed actually. So it's really just updating some language and then combining those documents. I think what I'd like to see after this discussion and subsequent discussions with other commissions is just kind of paring it down. Perfect.
I had 2 questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I had 2 questions. The first question had to do under public computers and internet access. This idea of the guest pass, I have to admit, I was surprised to read that. Where you issue guest passes for patrons who choose not to register for a card, the time limit, that makes sense. I mean, I don't have anything strictly against the idea of a guest pass. I just wondered, do you find that a compelling value add to bring more people into the museum?
Yeah, so there are 2 reasons why people might want that. One is for out of town folks who want to come to the library and print out their boarding passes. We used to see that a lot more than we do now. But that idea of I'm never going to be back here again, can you just give me a guest pass? I used to get on the. There are other people who are very much concerned about privacy and how their data is used. Now, I know that we are very careful with public data, but that doesn't impress some people. Yes.
Yes, okay, I was hoping that was gonna be in.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The next question had to do with. Oh, but it's actually in the same space. It's down, further down about prohibited material.
Mhm.
I was confused, in the very last bullet under that section. I totally get illegal material be prohibited. The question had to do with the second sentence. Attempts to show material displayed to a passer. I don't really understand what that's trying to do.
So there have been instances on the fair process. There have been instances in the library where people will show other people whatever it is they're looking at, whether in printed form or look at my screen kind of thing. What's on the screen, we don't monitor that. So it may be that it's not illegal, but it could be offensive to somebody else. So this is an attempt not to create situations whereby patrons are interacting with other patrons in ways that they may not be comfortable. with.
Okay, so you're worried about somebody being quote accosted with something they don't want to see, not somebody that's maybe collaborating with somebody and sees what's on the screen.
That's correct.
Okay. I wonder if that sentence really differentiates between those two behaviors. But
It
you're
could
not,
be a
you're not,
separate bullet.
yeah, because you're not prohibiting somebody from sharing what's on their screen,
Correct.
but you don't want anybody to be, look, that kind of thing. So I wonder if there's a way in words to either create a different bullet or create the differentiation.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's something, everything else was slick. I was actually surprised to get it all in 2 pages. I was amazed.
Any other comments or?
I had the same comment on the guest pass, why
Mhm.
they can get a library card. I mean, you're not limited by geography. I don't think to get a library card, so why even have I mean, sure, you want access, get a library card.
Second bullet was
There's some minor typos throughout,
Yeah.
mainly hyphens.
fine. I figure you go take a look.
And then,
I thought for the library card though, like you have to give it inside the Clara County.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't? Oh, really?
Now, as long as you can prove an address wherever it may be.
Oh.
You'll have your cards.
printing. Printing's not free, right?
It is not, it is 10 cents for black and white pages.
Okay.
And 20 cents for color.
I mean, when I hear printing wirelessly to library printers, when I see that, I think, oh, cool.
Yeah,
no, I mean,
it's
not that
from
I'm
an old
paying.
device, but you still need to pay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
just the payment
Yeah.
part,
Yeah,
and I don't know whether that should be. I
It's
mean,
listed.
Okay.
that's all, that's my
Fee-based
feedback.
printing wirelessly to library printers.
Yeah. I was just hoping. Not that I use the library printer to print, but.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all I have.
so I think if you do think of any comments after this meeting is over, if you could send them to Anthony and we'll pass those along.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then there's no more questions, public comment.
What was that? No? Okay.
And then the commission can discuss. There's no need to take a motion.
No.
There's no motion.
Are you okay to move on, or do you have anything else that you want to discuss about? You can move.
The only other question I had, it's not really a clarifying question, now we're in discussion, is, is the source of this, the combination, you said it was a combination of prior policies. Was there any action to compare to current best practices? I mean, I know you're a district, so you already have access to a large number of best practices, but relative to, say, other districts.
Yeah, we do that as part of the review for this, and we didn't see a substantial difference in
Right.
any changes. So that is part of the process.
Awesome.
We poke around and see what everybody else is doing.
And so we're gonna we'll move on to staff reports, commission update.
That's me. Okay. So I'm gonna go through this presentation as quickly as possible. I'm happy to answer any questions folks may have. In front of you is the commission handbook. We give this out every year, just as a reminder, and we go through this presentation, so you, I'm happy to answer any questions in front of the group today, or whatever you may have. I also want to always offer, I'm always happy to answer questions individually. If you read through and you feel like something doesn't make sense, or you have a question for me, I'm always available. I think all of you that have been on the commission long enough know that I'm, maybe people in the public know I'm pretty available, and I'm happy to move individually if you have questions.
All I saw is a typo, announcing votes instead of announcing votes. At the very end, second to last page.
Okay. I will find that and I will pass that along for something. So library commission's role, these are the powers and duties that are outlined in the municipal code. Serve as the principal liaison between the Council of Los Altos and the Los Altos Hills and the Santa Clara County Library District, and the various community entities that help to fund the branches, including NCLA, the endowment, and Friends of the Library. Review the Los Altos Library programs and services, conduct community outreach regarding the library facilities, perform other tasks as may be expressly requested by council. As you know, as a commission, you serve at the pleasure of the council, and are an advisory body for matters relating to the library. Service form of community input and engagement, and then your annual report to council, which you'll be giving next month when you go before them. And then perform other tasks and duties as assigned by city council. This is all clear language from the municipal code. If you want to talk about ordinances and municipal code, I'm happy to talk about that as well, because I love talking about how governments run. Every October, the commission appoints a chair and vice chair. No member of the commission may serve consecutive terms as the chair, so that rotates annually through the commission. So sorry to tell you that, Chair Morris, but it will be 1 year for Chair Morris, and then next year, the following year will be someone else. Attendance and participation. We do require the majority of members to be in person for the meeting to take place. So this is really important. If you are unable to attend the meeting for whatever reason, please let me know as soon as possible. So that way, if we do have an attendance issue or a quorum issue, I'll be able to coordinate that. And then commissioners must attend 75% of the regularly scheduled meetings. So at this point, we have 5 meetings left in the year. Today is actually a special meeting, so it's not a regular meeting. So you'll need to make sure that you attend at least 4 of those to remain above 75%. And then commissioner must let the liaison know at least 1 week in advance of the meeting that you'll attend remotely. This is really for exceptional circumstances. There's some language around what requires and qualifies. So if you are able to attend a meeting remotely, please let me know once again as soon as possible, and I can confirm if you're eligible under the state laws to attend remotely. Reporting, commissions provide a work plan for approval to council in the first quarter of each calendar year. That annual plan is presented at the joint meeting. I don't need to go too much into that because we just discussed it. So you've seen the work plan that follows this formula, goal, project, anticipated completion dates, and then the calendar for all of the items.
There's the reporting section in this book club, but also feel free.
For
Like what you just showed us.
I think it's earlier in the commission work plans. It's on, these pages are not numbered, but it's
But it's there.
there from earlier
So-
section.
Everything you're presenting is all in here.
Yeah, everything, I basically tried to get all the high level information of all these paragraphs and just give you the
I see, okay.
high level bullet points. Ad hoc subcommittees, a commission may appoint an ad hoc subcommittee consisting of less than the majority of the body. So that means, up to, 2 individuals. Should be focused on the one specific topic and shall not last more than 1 year. The committee must comply with all aspects of the Brown Act, but do not require the meetings to be posted. So that means the ad hoc subcommittee must not connect with other individuals on the commission and let them know what you're discussing on the ad hoc subcommittee. Those updates only come at the formal commission meetings and provide the update to everybody in the public. But the ad hoc subcommittee can meet privately without noticing that meeting for the public to attend.
Are there any, you want questions now? Are there any limitations on the parties with whom the ad hoc subcommittee can work in the interim between meetings?
The
Like
only,
we can bring people to interview, we can bring in collaborators, we can bring in the library.
so you can connect with staff, you can connect with the public hypothetically, but you can't create a conversation point amongst the commission. Presumably because if there's 2 of you working on something, and then you bring in a 3rd person, that would be the majority of the commission, which would be a huge problem. And then must be ad hoc, cannot be a standing subcommittee, so we can't have that being continuous. Specific topic, time frame, not an area of continuing jurisdiction, so you can't just continue to explore, all programs and services for an indefinite period of time. Must report the findings out to the full commission. commissioners can only serve on one subcommittee at a time. And then, ready to go. This is a lot of language, basically repeating everything I just said, just in a more formal bullet point.
Can, real quick, go back to and number 4, I think is really important. You know, the ad hoc subcommittee doesn't necessarily last for a year. It's really around a report or a work product that you're putting together. So I would get hung up on a year. That's my point.
Is it whichever one is earlier? Either the job being done or the year passing. And
Ideally, it would refresh her. And so right now, this is slide's not accurate because of changes, but at the time of printing, there was no active subcommittees.
Let me ask you a question. So, you know how sometimes I work directly with Rose without forming a subcommittee? Does that also have like a timeline where like a time limit? No.
So commissioners can work autonomously on projects with staff, either the county or myself at any point in time. You can also communicate with me or county staff at any given time. That's no issue. It's only when you work together with the commissioners
Okay.
on a project.
So you could potentially have this committee be finished after a year, but then one person from that committee can keep on working on that project with the staff?
that's a good question.
Hypothetically, sure. I don't, they could work individually with
Okay.
staff on that. I don't see an issue with that, just as long as whatever they're doing, they report out to the commission. Everything's about transparency
Mhm.
with ad hoc subcommittees, making sure that everybody knows what's happening on the assignment.
So in case we run out of time, then that could be one way.
So can an ad hoc subcommittee from one commission collaborate on a project with another commission's ad hoc subcommittee? The thing that comes to mind in my head is something, if we want to do something intergeneration about the play space, we might want to collaborate with the senior commission to come up with an event. You know, kids and elders playing together. That's just an idea, but is that allowed?
I
Should be.
don't see an issue with
I
it.
don't see any constraint there.
My guess would be that if you wanted to do something like that, you would present it to I would connect you with the staff liaison for whatever commission that was, and then I would work with that
Okay,
staff
so you would be
person
the broker, so to speak.
to try and set
Okay,
it up. So
got
that,
Thank you.
let me know if you ever plan to go to another commission meeting, then we can coordinate that conversation. So working pairs is unlike an ad hoc subcommittee. They can work in working groups. This is really focused on 1 or 2 commissioners who are focusing on topics of interest. So that kind of talks about what you were talking about, Chair Morris. They can take action or simply receive a report. Their goal is to get a little bit of flexibility. There's not a limit, but it should be a smaller component of something. So it's not a larger project. So just to put into perspective, I have some examples here. An ad hoc subcommittee is supposed to be a larger project, program, big item that's being worked on. And then a working pair could be a smaller component that's just working on like a flyer or something smaller in some capacity.
But we don't get the benefit of working pair because we don't have 5 people.
It becomes more challenging to do with.
It becomes impossible.
We literally can't do
We
it.
can't do it.
We need 7 people to be able to have a working pair.
So, yeah, these are just the guidelines of what's possible for commissions.
But I mean, but a working pair, the way I saw it was like the work I'm doing with with Gustav on the Mary Nabel project, where you work with somebody completely different. And on a library project, to me, that's what I saw in working pair. But yeah, mathematically, you can't do this.
Yeah.
It's just,
The park commission has 7, so they can have working pairs. They don't have to be brown, but when you go to 3, you've got an ad hoc subcommittee. So we don't get that benefit.
unless we get more commission.
Aren't you defined at 5?
Very defined at that.
Which I don't understand what there is, so, okay.
Right. So commissioner liaisons, the commission may assign individual commissioners to act as a liaison. That's especially important for our commission where there are external agencies or groups that the commission attends, and then, commissioners attend as a liaison and then report back to all of you in a public meeting. And so at any time, if you have reports, that would happen during the commissioner report section where you report out. And then these positions are supported by me, to make sure that they, review all the topics. At this point in time, the current liaison assignments, are Commissioner Bedard is the liaison to the Friends of the Los Altos Library. Vice Chair Fawcett is the, liaison to the Los Altos Library Endowment. There is a vacancy for the NCLA liaison, which I will be bringing forward for the March meeting for a discussion item, so you can appoint someone to be the liaison to this group if you would like. And so we'll do that then. Council liaisons, will meet with the commission chair and staff liaison once per year, as well as at the joint meeting. We'll find out who our council liaison for this upcoming year will be. Typically they rotate depending on, the mayor. The mayor selects the appointments for council liaisons, and so we'll learn who that is. Council liaisons typically attend meetings to listen, watch, report back to the council if something substantive is happening. But they don't direct, guide, or influence the policy making work with the advisory bodies. And I know you guys are excited, so I'm going to continue with conflicts of interest. So there's perceived conflicts of interest in incompatible activities. I encourage you, if you have questions about these, you can ask me offline. If you don't feel comfortable for whatever reason and you have a question, I'm happy to do that. Perceived conflict of interest for a commissioner may arise from personal relationships, financial interests, or serving on bodies, or when it appears that the private interests impact the official duties of the commissioner. Commissioners must notify me if they identify any issues and disclose the perceived conflict of interest. You can always seek out advice from the city attorney or the FPPC. The first step would be to always contact me and let me know if you have questions, so that way I'm aware of the situation. Conflict of interest, per state law, any public official, including commissioners, may not engage in any activity for compensation that is inconsistent, incompatible, or in conflict with their official duties with the city. If for at any time you feel like something, you have a question, please let me know. I'm happy to check with the city attorney, or I'm happy to give you an answer if I feel confident on these matters. It's ultimately up to you and your discretion to identify these issues and let me know when you know. And then obviously consulting the city attorney is the most important thing. And so you don't know the city attorney, so let me know and then I will. This is my favorite slide. It's the final one. It's called questions. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have. You don't need to take a motion. This is just informational from staff.
It's my understanding that we actually don't have access to the city attorney. Is that true?
I would encourage you, if you would like to reach out to the city attorney, contact me and I'll identify the next steps.
Any other questions?
And the Hills representative, a lot of these things are a little different, but in the, when they talk about the recruiting process and they're applying and that kind of stuff, they do it at a different time of year and blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
The Hills does have, I would check with.
I go back to
city-
a different council. Yeah.
I would say to check with the town clerk. But I'm always happy to talk with you. Vice Chair Fawcett.
In terms of like training, this time around we did like, we attended like a training in the library. So that's a training, right? That means that our training is done. Cause I remember a few years ago it was online and I had to like read through like,
For the
I think Brown Act.
Brown Act. I'll double check and confirm to
Okay.
make sure you guys have all your trainings. If
Okay.
there's anything that needs to be done, I'll pass that along to you.
They had a commissioner kind of retraining or refresher thing when I went to, but they didn't take attendance.
Yes,
And then I
exactly.
got a call from Los Altos Hills asking me to go through theirs. They wanted verification that I'd attended this one and I couldn't produce it. So, And that was kind of an issue for me, although in the end, they said I would have to watch a video or something, they never followed up. But, in principle, if I'm, it would be nice to, if I was to go with one of these again, to be able to get something that said I attended.
Yeah, very good call. Yeah, that was another, that's why I was asking as well, because I don't remember them taking attendance,
Hmm.
right? So.
I'll check.
Mhm. Any other questions, or any question? No, no. Public comment?
Only just one comment, or maybe you could also see if you have the same memory, but didn't we get certificates of training back in the dark ages when we?
Well, I don't know that they've waived the, the requirement to do the FPPC training online. I don't think they have. I mean, I never saw that memo, but you could check out.
Remember?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna,
The attorney used to give the training, and we got a certificate.
Never achieved that certificate.
I plan to check in, I'll check in with the city clerk and see what the standard operating procedure is, and if there is anything for whatever reason you need to do, I'll make sure that you're informed as soon as possible.
I remember doing the online stuff.
Yeah, the online thing is what we did, but this, I think because maybe it was full on from COVID, I don't know.
Yeah.
Potentially, but this year it was in person, but I didn't receive anything, or like you said, like, there was no attendance taken, so there's no proof that we did it.
I will double check. I also wanna note that what I gave is also a form of commissioner training as
Okay,
well,
perfect.
so.
Yeah.
The good news is you've all received that. I've given all of you copies of the
Okay.
commissioner handbook, so you've all gotten some form of training, at least by me.
That's it. Are we good to move on to the next item?
The only thing I wanna add something on the commissioner handbook. There's a piece in there where they talk about, filling out Form 700 on the FPPC, and the Library Commission is one of the commissions that don't need to do that because the Hills doesn't make their people do it. So it's in here, but we don't do it.
If you do not get an email about it, I don't believe you have to do it.
You don't do it.
But like I said, I'm gonna check on everything for you guys, just to triple check.
Let's say, training should be, oh, this is epic.
Yeah, but
Yeah, 2 hours every 2 years. Well, yeah,
Which is a different.
it's a different one.
From 700 is so onerous. We should just let you upload all of the investment files, which are more accurate than you, when they enter each stock lot that you own, which is ridiculous.
So, if we're joining virtually, we need to notify you 1 week before. If we are gonna be absent for any reason, is there a lead time that we need to?
I would love if I could know as soon as possible.
Okay.
So right now you have all agenda or all meetings for the whole year on your calendar. I sent calendar invites. So take a look now and double check if you know you'll plan vacation or anything, let me know.
And you said special meetings don't count in the attendance requirement?
I believe per the handbook,
So we only have the beneficial 5 meetings. Which means we can only miss 1 meeting, so.
that's why I'm giving you guys the heads up now on the map. So.
Good call out.
one last thing, sorry, I bring it up, is that there are new requirements. There's a new state law on, people attending via Zoom. Are you going to brief us on that, or is that something we're gonna?
I believe we are looking at what the requirements are for that.
Okay.
We'll let you know. We obviously would be aim for compliance with all state laws, so if we need to make any adjustments, we would let the commission know as soon as possible. But I believe there are some unique stipulations within it, and, we'll double check that as well.
Okay,
Oh, so you are only allowed to attend teleconference and not virtual? I did see that it said teleconference. Yeah. Is that what it
You
is?
know, there's
No.
some new legislation.
Okay.
yeah, there's new legislation that's making it more, however they're making it,
Okay.
for remote attendance. Mainly for public statements, public comments.
Yeah, I know the state bill you're referring to, and I think there's some carve outs I can remember, but, I'll double check that.
SB 707. That's it for me.
Are we good to move on? Okay. Next item on agenda, receive main library improvements project update.
So I just pulled up a rough calendar, and I'll just give you guys the dates so you have them the correct ones. So the dates I gave you before, I want to make sure you guys all have kind of a rough timeline of the construction, correct? Phase 2 is expected to run through the end of the summer. And then phase 3 is expected to end in spring of 27. And so bid and award is aiming for next summer of 27. So construction is targeting August 2027. So
August.
we have a bit of time before construction will start.
What was the summer 27 milestone?
Summer of 27 is hopefully when we're gonna be going out for bid for construction.
And then what was the phase 3?
Construction documents that
Oh,
spring of, so early next year, springtime, we should have a full bid ready construction package for the project. And then we'll have to go through that process, plan check, permitting, city. Spring of next year, plan check and permitting. Oh, sorry, I thought you wanted me to speak up, sorry.
Public comments?
Do you have an estimate of the construction time? How long the construction itself will take?
I think these are, by the way, I want to be clear, these are all speculative dates, so please don't hold us to them. It's looking like it's about 14 months,
14.
14 months.
That
And
was my
that,
next question, so thank you.
and that would be if we do single phase construction,
Okay,
which city council expressed an interest, did not express an interest in phase construction. When it was talked about at city council.
So the new library, I mean, the renovated library won't be ready till 2028
Correct.
fall-ish.
And, other than that, staff doesn't, I don't have any formal updates for you beyond those dates. I want to make sure I presented those to you. Like I said, I want to say on the record, big asterisk. It's dependent on a lot of factors. This is a big construction project, but, this is the timeline I have. At this point in time, I don't have any further updates since the last time I talked with you. The technical advisory committee, which is comprised of individuals of staff and the consultants, we're meeting regularly to walk through the process and make sure we're moving forward. And then obviously next steps, we plan to engage with the necessary stakeholders in the project to make sure that everybody's involved, in their specific capacities for the project. So. And as more information becomes available, I will come forward to let you guys know.
Any other comments?
My only comment is, let's not look at this as just the library remodel, because in terms of our responsibilities to the users, you know, we're doing the patio or the courtyard, that's coming up, obviously, that's got its own, issues, I'm sure, and also Woodland. Though, you know, I don't see the disruption as being that bad. Anyway, that's my comment.
The Woodland construction, should be hopefully starting soon in spring, early spring. We're targeting the summer completion date, that's what we're hoping for. It should not have an impact on library operations within the library itself. All the construction will be done outside, obviously.
And it's on the agenda for the upcoming, our upcoming city council.
It is on the consent calendar for next Tuesday to award the construction contract and, all the other necessary. There's a lot of bureaucratic things. Pierre pulled it up on his laptop and was looking at it earlier. So if you'd like to read through, it's on the consent calendar. But that should be going for council on Thursday.
Thanks.
And that's it from city staff. Now I'll turn-
Can I understand like when the patio work is happening for the main library?
I believe the main library, is
I can talk about that.
in process.
I can discuss that if you want.
Yeah.
So the bid for the courtyard was released Monday, January 5th. With a 30-day bid period. The contractor will be selected. It's the lowest bid. That's a verified contractor. That, if everything goes well, and it should, that will be, approved by the JPA in the February meeting. Once that, is done, then the district is managing that construction project. And their team will work with the contractor. We believe that groundbreaking will be sometime around April. It's estimated to be a 6-month construction project.
6 months.
6 months complete. And I do want to point out to all of you that the endowment is paying for all of these projects. We intend to do events, groundbreaking events, other types of events around both projects. And are really stepping up our public relations, etc. So you'll see a lot of activity by the endowment to publicize this.
That's great.
Have events where we can bring the public in and show them what's going on. A lot of this, of course, leads to help us with fundraising efforts, and we will be working with Rose and her staff to select the furniture for the living room. Gonna get on that too. There's a lot going on. It's compacted, especially for Woodland, into a very short timeline. I mean, we have essentially 6 months from today before it's open.
Exciting.
It's very exciting. It's gonna be really cool. It's really nice that the district has got a really professional team managing the courtyard project. And you couldn't ask for a better situation, so. And the district is furnishing the courtyard. The furniture, all of the audio visual, which is gonna be state of the art. It's really going to be something. So we should have some good stuff.
Great update.
The only downside is that the courtyard is going to have to be closed during the remodel for some construction safety. So,
For construction, what?
Safety.
construction.
Oh, okay, I thought you said safety, Hopefully Creek. Safety, yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
the county.
Any other comments? Good to move on. Thank you for that. That was great.
We continued. I heard you say Woodland, and I thought, I thought you were talking about Los Altos courtyard, and then I heard you say Woodland and
They're
Next.
doing two projects.
I know, but they're not, that was the patio, right?
The Woodland project is an outdoor patio and reading area.
But what you were talking about was the courtyard.
I was actually talking about both.
That's why I got confused. I'll ask you, it's
Sure.
All right, so I guess I'm up next. You should see my report in the agenda packet again. So Silicon Valley Reads is upon us. So this is our one day, one read, community event. We have lots of activities going on throughout the district. The kickoff is actually next week. It's on January, a week from tonight, actually. January 15th, we'll have Sal Pizarro from the Mercury News, and he'll be there to interview the authors of the three main books. So we have a memoir, we have a novel, and then we have a nonfiction book about bridging and belonging. So if you can join us next week, there will also be an exhibit, the UPrep Museum, which is attached to the actual venue. So you can look at some art early and then join the event just after. So I hope that you can attend. But please be aware that we will have events all throughout February and March, all over the place. So I'm sure Rose will highlight some of those too. Just a heads up that we will be closed on January 19th for Martin Luther King holiday. This year is also the year of the horse. So this is the Lunar New Year on Tuesday, February 17th. Again, it's another instance in which we can have large cultural events throughout the district, and I see Los Altos has a few of those as well. We'll also, again, tying in art, we'll have an online version of the Legion Art Museum available, so you can go from the comfort of your own home and do a virtual tour of that museum. Finally, open access is coming to Morgan Hill Library. So as I'm sure you're all aware, Woodland was the pilot for that project. Thank you for all the work the commission did there. And we are continuing to move along with that project. We've already added it to Gilroy Library, and next up is Morgan Hill. So that will be towards the end of this month, but that will be opening up as well. We're very excited about that. And that's all I have. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to join. Public comment.
And at the opening event for Silicon Valley Reads, are the authors going to sell books and sign?
They will, yes. So typically that'll take place after the panel speaking event. They'll kind of arrange some tables out front in the lobby, and you'll be able to purchase materials and speak with the author while they sign the books.
I have a question. Do you have an update as to how many kids have signed up for the Dolly Parton's graduation
Oh,
library?
gosh. I don't, but I can get you a number.
The last number I had was over 14,000, but that was, that was maybe a week and a half ago.
So, I will text Jennifer right now, because she's at another commission, so I know she's working, and I'll see if she has that number. And if so, I will pass it along before the end of tonight.
Do you have any upcoming outreach or community awareness programs running around that? Around GPIO?
So we have some marketing events going on. I don't think there's any specific programs related to it, but I'm sure those will be upcoming.
I've got one minor comment,
Yes, sir.
which, so we're reading The Power of Bridging in our book club, and I can't get a copy out of the library.
Okay.
I've been on hold for like 2 weeks. It would seem that you'd be flooding this
For
out.
which we typically do, which of the power bridging is, okay.
Right.
But I can't get either, so.
I will look into that.
Not just because I'm a library commissioner, but I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, I usually,
I know,
20 copies of each, and, I'll see what's going on with that.
Nobody-
It might be particularly, popular.
the author, yes, well, the author may want to sell books also.
That's true. Maybe a little of it. Over 14,000. No, no news, no.
that's all.
Janine, what was your question?
What was my question? Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
Yeah.
The Santa Clara County Library District is the main funder for the county's portion of what the state provides half. Dolly Parton provides this much, the state provides this much. And they demanded that the counties that pick up the program take up half of that portion. So the library district became the funder in Santa Clara County. The main funder, not necessarily has to be the only funder, but they got us launched, they got Santa Clara County launched. We're eternally grateful for that.
I'll try to get you. That's no problem.
Yeah, I just want to add, that's a fantastic program compared to all the programs I've seen come out of the district. It's really, no, I'm being serious. It's very popular and it hits home and does very good stuff.
It's gonna change
Very
lives.
exciting time. Yeah. That's a good point. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just looking, hold on a second. Any other reports from the library staff? Rose, yeah.
So, I don't have a flyer for the, New Year because it's just confirmed, but save the date, February 14th at 11 a.m. We have the Lion Dancers. If the weather permits, it will be outside. It was wonderful. It was beautiful weather last year. They go from the inside of the library and they, do their, dancing and music, and we come out to the parking lot, by where the local videos and where the friends, kind of do their, story, when they read the books. And so we close, thanks to the city, we are able to close the parking lot for that 20 minutes of the show, 20-30 minutes, and it's really fun and interactive. They're great, the group that comes out, and it's all easy. So, everybody seems to enjoy that. And also for Silicon Valley, we are finalizing programs, but everything will be on our website, and I could pass some information along to Anthony as we get publicity for that and finalize this program. So, to move on to my reports. Happy New Year, everyone. And I wanted to share that with our children's play space delayed, we are getting a temporary exhibit. And this one, it starts on January 18th. It's called Bombas, the Natural History of Bumblebees. And so this will be an exhibit in the children's room. It will be, you'll be able to look at some physical material along with some audio visual. It is for all ages, but it will live in the children's room. So we hope that you can make it to the library to look at it and enjoy it. Bring your children, bring your children. But if you haven't been into the children's room, it does look beautiful. I mean, the carpet has been redone, the paint has been redone, and right now we do have the Everbright in there. And, the staff did a wonderful job in getting all the collections back, and, to work with a timeline that we had. And where, as I mentioned to some people, we are planning to open the orchard room next week. It's, as you may know, with all the returns while the room was closed, they did have a large buildup in the orchard room, but the staff have been working very, very hard to try to get those collections either on the shelf or stored in our circulation room, so we can resume our programs. And story time will resume in the orchard room in February. So that's one to, I know the community misses story times, and those bring in a lot of people to the library. So that's what's happening with that. Let's see. Okay, that's next one. Okay, so some stats. November 2025, we have 55 programs, 538 borrowers. We have 306 open hours, 173 passports, and 991,404 total checkouts. Los Altos, we had 26,871 visitors, and at Woodland, 5,850. I think at the last meeting, I had some interest about open access, so I pulled some statistics from October and November. And I thought these were, I like the way that this were displayed. So this shows you by the hour. So in October, we had 153 users. And it looks like the majority did come from 10 to 11. And this doesn't mean that people, it could be that they came at 8 and left at 11, but this is when they scanned their card to enter the building. And then for November, it kind of switched around and we had more people enter at 8 o'clock and compared, but it seems like 9 to 10 is the hour that fewer people come, but with the expansion of the days that we had increased open access, things have been flowing very smoothly, and I think patrons are really appreciative of having those additional hours. I want to share some programs. This was the Halloween outreach on the top left that was at the Buddha Cities event. So they invite us to that event. We took the Google video. And the program on the bottom is actually here, because we didn't have the orchard room. We had a puppet show in the Grand Oak room, and so it was beautiful. And yeah,
The
question?
slideshow's always so fun.
Oh, the kids, yeah.
I have to talk about conflicts of interest. You talk about
Photos, yeah. So these are just some photos that the staff shared with me. The next one of some of the craft programs that we had. This was the children's crafts. This was actually an adult event, Scandinavian Fabric Star, which really cool. I also wanted to share, one of our staff members is very passionate, and I think it's a wonderful program. It's a multi-generational program, Sunday afternoon. So it's for adults, teens, and kids. And we have grandparents that bring their grandchildren, and so it's a wonderful program. She has regular followers, we're always open to new people attending, and she puts a lot of effort into making these crafts and events, interesting and fun for all ages. So if you haven't attended and you like crafts, I would highly suggest that you attend.
So this is in November?
This was just the November, there is one, and I could send you the new one coming up. This was more of kind of what was missed during the break when we didn't have commission meetings, but I could send you the flyer for the new one. These were the fall book clubs that we had. And this is really mostly to highlight that we were still having programs, even with the children's room closed, and the kind of what programs we were able to offer. And then we had celebrated Native American Heritage Month as well, and some of the photos I thought were really cool from there. And I wanted to share this because when the children's room was closed, we did find that patrons either didn't realize that we have woodland, or the staff actually made this to share with patrons that you may be missing the collection in the children's room, but woodland is available and it has a larger collection, and so it was really a teachable moment for patrons. Either they just didn't realize woodland was there, or there's an opportunity to use woodland. And I think this is a kind of silver lining as we look into the woodland patio being there, and when the libraries close, what the future of woodland and how the impact it will have on library services. So it's unfortunate that the children's room was closed, but we did have our collection outside, and woodland was also still an option. So we were very, very fortunate because we are the only library in the district to have yeah. Any questions?
I have a question, because I always have questions, but I went to Saratoga, which was very depressing. The Saratoga Library is so big, and they have a tremendous square footage, great children's area. When you're designing, or when the county, I'll say the county, designed the children's area, did they take space constraints into consideration at Los Altos? Was it size to us, or was it just size? Here's your Acme children's space.
So are you talking about the play space then?
Yeah.
So each one was custom designed for the location. So obviously there are different constraints, there were different sets of variables, so each one was looked at very carefully in terms of, you know, ceiling height, space, laterally, like all that was taken into account. They tried to maximize it based on the space available, and then played into some of the features that were available in some of the.
So they did consider it.
Absolutely, that's correct, yeah.
Let's see that. Very cool.
Yeah, this, I was blown away by the Saratoga experience.
And that was our first play space too. And, you know, one of the cool things about it is each play space has references to the other play spaces. So like each of your play spaces got a row lab, right? Something, what's the one for, you got the little sprites, okay. So in the other play spaces, there are sprite box, and those are only here in Los Altos, right? So it's like a little bit of an Easter egg hunt. And as part of the activities that we do with kids, it's like, hey, did you ever go to Saratoga and see these, or did you go to Los Altos and see these? So all that would be kind of incorporated into some of the activities that surround the place.
Next level.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There was no logic that applied to these sort of overlapping circles, right? Those are not really the diagrams in any way.
No, so that, no.
I've been sitting here trying to rationalize.
No, sorry, it's just how PowerPoint, I put out some of those graphics.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's a good one.
Commissioner reports? Oh, sorry, public comment.
I know that the, children's play space structure is being held up by getting a permit through the fire department. Are you able to discuss the specific issue that is delaying the issue of the permit?
Not really, no.
Okay.
We're working with them on trying to address all of their concerns.
Okay. I know we had, remember the courtyard concerns with the fire department?
All part of the common building projects.
Yes.
But it also hampered the pods, as I remember, getting operational. It's something to look at.
The city's doing its best to try and help as much as we can through our portion. So I just said.
I was just noting a trend.
Stephen Rose know how to call me.
Commissioner reports?
I attended the landing meeting. I think Freddie was. Is there anything else to report on Larry? In the public portion of the meeting, I don't remember anything else. I don't think so. No. Yeah, no report.
I attended, well, what was the last Friends meeting? Kathy Riggle, the president of the Friends is here. If you want to talk about our last meeting or.
I can't remember, but I'll talk about what's coming up. Our book sale's coming up at the end of, actually starts the end of this month. Usually it's the first week in February, but it will go from January 30th to February 1st. So the 30th is members' time, which you can join at the door if you need to. And I think I heard you say, I know I saw a lot of donations, so there was a little bit of a lull, but donations are back on track. And it's coming through.
No, my back hurts from Wednesday. We hauled a lot of books, so from other Friends news, you know, we're working through the sales. I attend all the meetings. But really, there was a big lull over the holiday and that's picked back up. We should have a great sale. The three previous sales have all been in here, have all yielded well over 20.
Right, they've been record breaking. The last one was a little bit less. I would consider it about even with the August sale, but the May sale, August sale was record breaking, and then November about the same size.
We also signed a deal, Tom, one of our volunteers, did a deal with a gentleman who ships books to Kenya, I think.
I didn't know about it, right, yeah.
So essentially, when the sale's done, everything gets gathered up and donated. So there's no wastage. Hmm?
Are you not talking about the Gaylords and?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I found some, I mean, they're not, they don't go to St. Vincent, they're going to the actual museum. Or,
Well, it's fine.
So you guys don't resell it in the next sale?
not everything sells.
The books that are left go to someone else, and we actually have to pay for those to be shipped all the way. So this is great that we're donating to us. They come, actually, they filled up their truck, their cars, it was pretty crazy. And we did still send some to Gaylords, but a lot less.
A lot less. And, the search for Marion Abel continues. We presented, this is a case of I guess a pairing or, where I'm working with, Gustav Hearn, who's a student at Los Altos High, to publicize the history of the Los Altos Library from 1914 to 1964, with long history. And we presented to, Gustav presented to Lolly. We hope to I'm trying to get something into the town crier, which is proving tough. But we're hoping to sort of try to expand the search for Marion, and through that, expand the search out, expand the publicity about the history of the library and why it matters. So I'm going to continue, we work every week on it, and just progress it. We'll see where it takes us.
I was about to suggest, priority. It looks like you're running the beginning this afternoon.
The town crier?
Yeah.
Well, I sent mail to Christina, she's new, I just haven't had the right angle.
Because
We're
this
trying.
would make for a new place.
It would, but there's many interesting stories in
Yeah.
the South Coast. I'll have to go to Palo Alto for this one, anyway. I think that's pretty much it.
Then we can move on to potential future agenda items.
If any other
Well,
commissioners,
Any other commissioner have reports?
Oh, yeah, I did look up the Proctor News, January 18th, 2 p.m. and February 15th at 2 p.m.
February what?
15th. So the January 8th one is scheduled in the Grand Oak Room. The February one should be at the library, so the room will be open.
Potential future agenda items. So I think one of them was the subcommittee discussion one. And then the liaison, right, for NCLA.
and all the other ones,
Mhm.
I mean, if we wanted.
I can bring it forward for full discussion on those.
Any other topics? Anyone for agenda?
We need to make sure we continually get updates on the improvements project.
I
I think
agree.
that should be,
I'll always be here, so you'll always
All
have
right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, we want that in the agenda, receive main library improvements project update.
I'll make it a recurring staff report
Mhm.
in addition to the account.
Do you want to discuss the agenda policy again, like the final, or no?
we will have met with the council, right? So maybe an agenda item on the work plan. If you're in agreement. To see if there's anything we need to change.
And just a reminder, second or fourth Tuesday of February. I'll send out the date once I know.
Don't worry, Gene.
That one.
The city council,
Um,
the work plan.
So are we ready to close? Close meeting?
Yes. you're the chair.
Any public comments? No, okay.
Good
Thank you.
good job.